about a year ago was my first ever spiritual dress at your church. And I just moved into the new house you just referred to in the farm. And I was in such flux and then couldn't believe I said, yes, I would do this crazy thing. And then looking back now, a full year, I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad I stepped into that uncomfortable space. And over this year, there's just been more of the same and so much growth opportunity in stepping into those places. And I love that you said the word trust, because today I really thought I'm not going to prepare. I'm going to fully trust. I'm going to listen to the words that come before me and really what flows through me. And so I started to think about, or I'm thinking right now about who I am today and how I got there and the decisions that I made and circumstances and how life is busy, but life is confusing. It's scary, it's amazing, it's gorgeous, it's inspirational. There's so many parts of life, and it keeps moving and it keeps flowing no matter what happens. Whatever happens, good or bad, the world keeps on moving through, and you have to trust, and you're always in flux. And it's not just you navigating and balancing what's going on with you and your thoughts and your feelings and your reactions and your emotions. You're also then having to adjust to everybody else's thoughts and feelings and reactions and emotions. And then tie that into the world and chaos and all these uncontrollable circumstances that you really cannot even see coming most of the time. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about the defining moments in my life where there was a definitive, this was me before X, and this was me after X. And knowing that it would change me and shape me forever. And there was a perspective that I couldn't unchange. I couldn't unsee it. And one is coming to mind is the passing of my brother. He was an amazing best friend and had went through a really messy life growing up with me. And the morning that I found out that he had passed away, I can tell you, I will never forget. And it wasn't just the words he passed away, but I knew I would never be the same person. I would never see the world the same way. And all I wanted to do was say, world, stop so I could take a breath, stop so I can figure this out, just stop moving so I can figure out who I am and how I need to show up here and what needs to happen next. And what I really found out is that the world keeps moving and that life happens while you're busy making plans and you're busy adjusting. And that is what life is. And with that huge trust exercise or this huge pivot the world threw me into and all the people around me, it was the greatest opportunity of my life. So while it took a lot of time to kind of put myself back together, knowing I could never assemble the shards the way that the person that was there before, I would never be able to assemble myself to look the same way and feel the same way I did before this moment. I actually found that in collecting those pieces, I built a bigger, stronger life on a solid foundation because I trusted and I allowed. And when I got into the flow of life and I started to pick up myself up, I found all these other amazing skills and strengths and confidences and village, these people that started coming to my life and helped me build myself back up. And through service and through helping other people and working in knowing I was making a difference in other people's lives helped also to heal me. So I was healing better. I was healing stronger. I was more confident, and it gave me a life that I never imagined. And through this, I developed different kinds of loves. I love that we talked about love earlier. Love to me has changed over my entire life. The love when you're a little girl to the love that carries you through your life in hard times, the love you have and the rawness and the realness you feel when you experience loss or grief or shift. And then that love that you have when you have a baby, or you feel this depth of love you just didn't know existed. You didn't know you were capable of. And then that thought when I was like, we're going to have another baby, but there's no way I can love more. I can do more. And you can. You're so much more capable and you're designed to be versatile and flexible. And if you allow and you trust and you love, there's so much opportunity through especially the hardest things in your life to form the most amazing magical life that you didn't even know you could live in, you could exist, you could experience. And then there's a part of you through all of this that grows, which I think is most important, is self-love, self-identity. Who am I now? How did I step through these really hard periods? How did it leave me? And how can I serve others? And that's where I feel like you really start to know that you're coming out the other side, when you're not thinking of world stop and you're thinking of how can I help? How can I jump in? And you start to do it now with a fondness or a memory of, like my brother. I think now when I'm serving or I'm connecting with somebody through mediumship, and I know that I can see the plants of hope, the seeds of hope planting in them, that they know their loved one is okay. It's exactly what I needed when I was so broken, when I couldn't breathe, that I needed that exact thing. And now coming all the way through this cycle and still growing through and recognizing myself differently, that I'm able to start planting those seeds that I desperately needed then. So they healed me and they helped me, and they're continuing to help grow me. And now I've come to a place where I want to teach how to plant those seeds. And through teaching and through giving, you're growing and you're really fortifying who you are and who you're meant to be. And I really truly feel this is when you start to step into your life's purpose, into your real reason for being, and this confidence within yourself that is unshakable. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. It doesn't matter how they think you show up or how you're perceiving their perception of you. It really comes to, I trust life. I trust God. I trust spirit. I trust the process. And I'm going to do what makes my soul glow, what makes me feel whole. That's the reason for being and for living and connecting. So through all these hard things, there's such this opportunity for a deeper trust, for a deeper experience into life. And that's really what this is all about. Trusting, connecting, loving, growing, learning, teaching, giving. That is life. That's why we're here. And it's messy and it's complicated and it's scary. But if you sit with your sadness, your grief long enough, you'll start to figure out who you are. And you'll start to move through that and then name that anger or that, situation with maybe something more like fear, which is coming down to really the core, the innate, that nugget that you need to really make that change and say, wow, I am really afraid. How do I step into that? And then that opens the opportunity for the next step, which is growth and healing. I feel like I love this, and this is coming to mind. No man steps in the same stream twice. We'll never be the same person as yesterday, and the stream will ever be flowing. So it's never the same stream. It's never the same person, but it's always that new, better, hopefully version of self and the perception of the world around you and the invitation into becoming who you were truly meant to be and stepping into those gifts of magical creations, the creative being you were meant to be. And so I would say, if you're right now struggling with anything, with grief, with transition, with fear, with sadness, trust the process. Take a deep breath and get into the flow of life. Get into what makes you happy. And if you can't, give of yourself. Start to work maybe as a volunteer or something small that makes you feel like you're giving to somebody else. And through that service, it just starts to get you moving again. And it starts to get you breathing again. And as you start to make plans, you'll notice that you're starting to plan for the next day and for your birthday and for your friend's birthday. And when you're doing that, you're planting seeds of hope. That means that you have now decided that there is life beyond today, that you're going to breathe and there's going to be a tomorrow. So these are all really good things to do just to get moving and breathing again, because there's so much more in store for you. So when you're faced with these adversities and these hard times, remember, this is an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for you to get even deeper into who you're meant to be and how you're meant to show up and impact this world. Exactly where you need to be, experience the things you need to experience to help you grow into a bigger, fuller life. Thank you.